Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to teach you how you can use ChatGPT to write a cover letter. And this series is Transition Your Career to Industry. To give you a little bit of background and context, I specialize in helping individuals who are coming out of academia to go into industry, primarily STEM roles. And I also help people who are medical professionals who are looking to leave the medical field to go into industry. So a lot of the topics I will be giving examples for pertain to the industries of biotech and biopharma. That being said, the information I'm providing can be applied to pretty much any industry. And a little more background on the cover letter itself. When I'm coaching people and working with them on their own career journeys, I actually don't recommend that people spend a lot of time trying to write a cover letter and submitting cover letters with every single one of their job applications. And that's because I find that it doesn't really help people, and often it just doesn't get looked at. For recruiters, they have very little time to go through resumes, so they're really scanning for keywords, they're scanning for certain skills, they're scanning a certain way to try to determine the best candidates very fast. And a cover letter is just very cumbersome. It doesn't necessarily add value to the story of the candidate. And so I'm often suggesting to not put your energy right there. But in certain circumstances, it becomes necessary, like if a job application is requiring you to write a cover letter. And in that case, you just have to suck it up and do it. But I understand that's kind of an overwhelming thing to have to face, especially when you're not used to writing cover letters. This is maybe the first job application you're writing up and you're submitting to, and you've never had to write. It just is a little overwhelming. So when I realized that you could use ChatGPT to have it help you write your cover letter, I had to share this with you guys because I find it's so helpful and it's actually really effective. Let's just dive right into it. I'm going to share my screen in just a second so that I can show you exactly how to do this. Now, if you're going to do this, you can go to chat.openai.com and then you can create an account and start playing with this. This is just like the general screen that pops up. Yes, I have a million tabs. What did you expect? Okay, so this is the basic layout. Now, one more thing. If you decide to use ChatGPT, depending on the time of day or the number of users on it, you may or may not be able to get onto it. So if the system is overloaded or the servers are overloaded, it'll tell you to come back and keep trying. Just keep trying. I think I might have hit it a few times in a row and I got come back later and cute little messages. And then maybe 15, 20 minutes later, I tried again and it was fine. So here is where you're going to put your prompt in this little window. And it's actually really cool. I'm going to start with a particular example that might be niche to the medical industry, but I know that some of you out there who I'm helping with will actually really appreciate this example. So I'm going to type in this prompt. You can ask it to do just about anything. But the way I've been learning to do this is you can ask it to pretend to be someone. So you're going to ask it to pretend to be you. So say you're a pharmacist and you want to get a job in regulatory affairs. So I said, pretend, this is to ChatGPT, pretend you are a pharmacist. Please write a very persuasive cover letter for a regulatory affairs job application. So I'm indicating the background of the voice of the person that I want to have come through in the cover letter. I'm explaining this is the job title that I'm trying to get. So you can fill this in with whatever it is that you are. If you're a graduate student, if you're a medical doctor, if you're a master's student, whatever it is that you are, if you're going to give a degree only, I would recommend adding what the degree is in. So we'll get into that example in a second though. Let's just start with this. Pretend you are a pharmacist. Please write a very persuasive cover letter for a regulatory affairs job application. So this is it. It's diving into it now. See, it's just, it's going to town. I'm going to read it out to you guys in a second, just so that and I'll explain to you guys in a second what the deal is here and how obviously you're going to have to read it. You're going to have to make sure it's customized to the right company, to the right hiring manager, and all of those things. But this just gives you a template for what it could look like. So this says, "Dear hiring manager's name, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing to express my interest in the position at your company as a pharmacist with however many years of experience in the pharmaceutical industry. I am confident that I have the necessary skills and qualifications to excel in this role. Throughout my career, I've gained extensive knowledge in regulatory affairs and have a deep understanding of the regulatory processes involved for bringing new drugs to market. Also developed strong analytical skills, communicate effectively with regulatory agencies, all of these things." Now, in this instance, the place that I pause is in my current role as your role and where you work. I have been responsible for preparation and submission of regulatory applications, including INDs. Now, this may not be the case. A lot of the people that I work with, they don't have a history in this industry, or the industries they're applying to. They're trying to transition to a brand new career. So you wouldn't actually be able to say, I have been responsible for preparing these submissions. The rest of it's okay. You know, I'm eager to bring my expertise and passion. I still would ask you guys to go through this and like customize it a little bit to you and in your voice, but it gives you a really nice template to start with. But back to this, it's acting as though it has regulatory experience. So I'm going to say, please rewrite, because we want to correct that. Now there's one option, which is you just delete this paragraph. And that might be what ChatGPT will do, but we're just going to ask it to please rewrite this cover letter as though you are, you know what? Okay, hold on. We're going to say, please pretend you are a pharmacist who has no prior work experience in regulatory affairs, and rewrite this cover letter. So I've just like entered it and it's now generating it. And there's lots of things I'll suggest. You know, I might make suggestions on some of the phrasing of this and like the direction, but this is a huge step up from where you're at right now. If you're just trying to figure out how to write a cover letter and you've never done this before and you're like Googling 1,000 examples of what's a good cover letter. I mean, look at this. I hope the letter finds you well. Writing express my interest in this position. It's always good, you know, a good generic way to start. Although I do not have direct experience in this field, I have acquired a solid foundation in the regulatory process through my academic studies and developed a deep understanding of the regulatory requirements involved with bringing new drugs to market. Also gained valuable experience, analytical thinking, problem solving, effective communication skills, and that I believe will be an asset to your team. So you can go on and say, I am particularly drawn to your company because of your reputation for innovation and commitment to bringing life-saving treatments to patients. Eager to contribute my passion and energy to your efforts and to gain hands-on experience in exciting field of regulatory affairs. So, and you can tailor this. You can like dampen the amount of information that's about that you aren't someone with a background from this field, maybe highlight the parts of you that are good, that are transferable skills, and that sort of thing. So you can always easily delete some of these paragraphs and adjust it to be more of your voice and everything. You can also, you know, with ChatGPT, you can play with it. You could tell it, can you make it sound more enthusiastic? Could you make it sound more passionate? Could you make it sound more intellectual? So if you're feeling like there's certain qualities you want to add to this, you can totally do that. Now, let's try another chat. So Let's try pretend. I'm going to show you, this is one where pretend you are now this is one where if you're like a graduate student, but I'm going to say instead of graduate student, pretend you are a person with a PhD in biomedical sciences. I always use please to be polite to the AI. Please write a cover letter for a we can do regulatory affairs again. I often work with a lot of people who do regulatory or who want to do regulatory affairs. You could do the same thing for clinical affairs. You could do the same thing for medical and scientific affairs. You could do it for becoming a patent office person. You can do it for becoming an R&D scientist. You can do it for anything. Like whatever the role you want to do, just, ask ChatGPT. So please write a cover letter for a regulatory affairs job application. Now we've changed it to PhD in biomedical sciences, and then let's see what it's going to give us. So it's very similar. Writing to express my interest in regulatory affairs with a PhD in biomedical sciences, an extensive experience in regulatory landscape of the biopharmaceutical industry. I am confident I'm a strong fit for the role. Now it's already sounding like they have the tone that they have a regulatory affairs background, and we're maybe saying that's not the case. So let's do the same thing where we correct it. And we go ahead and say, please pretend you do not have a background in regulatory affairs. And rewrite this cover letter. Now, this is a really great starter place for a cover letter. It's not going to be the thing that gets you the job. You just need to have a solid cover letter. Like rarely is this going to ever make or break you, but it can if you sound absolutely ridiculous or you don't sound professional. So you want to sound enthusiastic. You want to sound professional. So as with a PhD in biomedical sciences, I'm eager to bring my knowledge and skills to a new challenge and expand my expertise in the regulatory landscape and biopharmaceutical industry. Throughout my academic and professional career, I have demonstrated my ability to learn quickly and adapt to new environments, a strong foundation in biomedical sciences, including a deep understanding of the drug development process and regulatory requirements that must be met. So you can see, it sounds, professional. It sounds convincing. Could it be better? Sure. There's always going to be ways of making it better. I always recommend to try to downplay the amount that you project out there that you don't know. Or I try not to highlight so much and emphasize so much to the people that you don't have a background in this thing. So I'd maybe tone some of that down and highlight the stuff like your transferable skills. And obviously go in and customize, put the company name where it's asking to put the company name. Make sure you read it very thoroughly to make sure the information applies to you. I'm going to try one more thing for fun. Please make this cover letter sound more enthusiastic. See my spelling skills. And passionate. See what it does. I don't know. I haven't tried that one before, so we'll see. It's really thinking about it. Maybe I've asked for too much. No, it really does a good job. I think sometimes it just has a lot of requests coming through from like a lot of people, so it can take a little while. And if it doesn't pop up, that's okay. We can just leave it there if necessary. Did it generate a response? Oh, it did. Maybe got a little too excited. I am writing with immense excitement to express my interest in regulatory affairs. As a passionate, enthusiastic individual with a PhD, I'm eager to bring my skills. Throughout my academic and professional journey, I've developed a deep understanding of drug development process and the intricate regulations that govern it. Eager to bring my solid foundation in biomedical science. I wouldn't say eager so many times. Maybe you don't have to add on the last bit about, please make it sound enthusiastic and passionate. Maybe we just let it be professional. But as you can see, this is just something you can have fun with, but it's also actually able to produce a pretty solid resume. And you can do this for literally any field or industry. So you don't have to, sit there and do it from scratch and research like 20 different cover letters when you finally like found a job posting that's asking for applications, and suddenly you have to turn it around in like a day or less than a day, and you want to be at the top of the list for the recruiters to look at and to be considered. You want to get that out fast. You don't want to be sitting there for like a week trying to solidify a cover letter when ChatGPT can do it just like that. Like, this is so easy. Why wouldn't you do it? Especially when you don't know what you're doing. By all means, if you want to do it the harder, longer way, you totally can write a cover letter from scratch. But I just encourage people to play with these new technologies and tools and seeing, hey, maybe it'll work for me. Like, you can make these things work for you in so many different ways. You can change the tone of it. You could ask it to pretend like it's some famous scientist and use the voice and tone of that scientist and pretend that they are, this brilliant person is applying for a regulatory affairs position. How would they sound if they wrote a cover letter? Like, you can kind of be silly and fun and playful with it. And also, at the end, you get a reasonable result. It's pretty good. So I will leave it at that for now. Give ChatGPT a chance, and really don't spend too much time on the cover letter unless you really absolutely have to, or it's critical, like the job application is literally requiring it. All right. I hope you've enjoyed that. Take care for now. Bye-bye.